What's up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Our PTG fam, as always, we're incredibly thankful for you guys and gals. Anyone who's listening, we love you and we thank you. This episode is brought to you by G2 Paintball. G2 Paintball is a paintball athletics company that is designed to make you a better athlete. They use techniques that we use in all of our Dynasty practices. They have come out to the BKI paintball camp, and they have an awesome program that is designed around making you a better athlete both on and off the paintball field. Paintball endurance is something that is entirely different than endurance required in other sports. Paintball is so physically demanding, and you do have to train accordingly. You have to train specifically. G2 Paintball does exactly that. You guys can head over to g2paintball.com to get more information, find out what they are about. It is owned by Rusty Glaze and Victor Gamboa, part of the Dynasty organization, and again, just an all-around amazing program. This episode is also brought to you by Transfuse, an electrolyte drink that is absolutely amazing. We really preach ingredients, and ingredients are so crucial. Now more than ever, you need to be making sure you're taking care of your body. If you want electrolytes to replenish and make sure that you are hydrated, this is definitely your go-to. Magnesium, potassium, coconut water, all the things you need to perform at a high level. What this product also has, though, is some amazing brain-boosting vitamins, and as well as some amazing immune-boosting vitamins like vitamin C, over 1,500 milligrams per packet. That is more than emergency. Vitamin C is great for your immunity. Zinc, another amazing vitamin to boost your immunity. And in these times, it's more important now than ever to make sure your immunity is totally boosted and very strong. Zinc has been proven over and over to reduce the time of a common cold and help with respiratory illness. And again, now more than ever, it's important to be mindful of the stuff we are taking in. We love this product. We are so excited to have partnered with them. And Transfuse is a company that's been involved in paintball for about a year now, and we always support the brands that support our game. And I'm sure you guys have heard about them or seen them. They come to the events. They're just, again, an awesome company. And you guys could head over to translabs.com if you would like to support the show. That is translabs.com. And any product that you purchase, when you get to checkout, just use code PLAYTHEGAME. And by doing that, you'll get 10% off, and it'll be a beautiful way to support the show and make sure you guys are staying healthy and hydrated during these times. All right, this show was a really good one. It was just Tyler and myself. This is for the culture. We really dove into the business side of paintball. We talked about traveling for paintball. We definitely talked about some of the current events, and really just are trying to spread the message of connectivity and unity amongst the paintball community and people of the world. So it was an awesome time talking to Ty as usual, and we really hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll see you in there.
That was an insane inside move by Marcello Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcello Margot was on fire.
Marcello Margot. We got him back in the building. Dude, this is a great show you got going on here, man. It's good to see you again.
My dude, great show, huh? Yeah, we're really doing it. We're going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, what a blessing this has been, putting this on. Thank you guys, everybody out there listening. We love you. It's good to see you, dude. Get to see you here in a couple days.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm excited. Actually, it's Wednesday. We're going to be leaving tomorrow to come out and see you.
Yeah, I know. You're piling up a bunch of trophies in your car and heading over to Arizona from California.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. Ryan is renting a huge SUV to toss all the Dynasty trophies in, and we're going to be transporting those bad boys out to Arizona to be held in our assistant coach's office, Victor Gamboa. He has a massive collection of all sorts of Dynasty memorabilia, paintball memorabilia. So it's going to be cool to get those in those hands, and I can't wait to see how Vic catalogs all them. But it's going to be a fun road trip, and then we're going to do some training on Friday, get you prepared for Pro Tour, which is coming up next weekend.
Yep.
And then we're doing a clinic, a little play the game clinic on Saturday. So should be a good weekend. I'm pumped.
It's going to be a great weekend. Yeah. Victor's going to have his hands busy cataloging all that. There's so many trophies to go through. He's going to be busy for the rest of his life cataloging that.
Yeah. I don't think Ryan even has all the trophies, but he still has like 45 or 50, something crazy. There's so many. They almost weren't going to fit in any of the SUVs. I was like, dude, we might have to get a U-Haul.
That's a pretty
Bring a
big
U-Haul out
accomplishment
there.
right there, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's got so many awesome ones too. Some of those trophies are badass. I mean, the trophies we get nowadays are kind of dinky in comparison. He's
Yeah.
got some European trophies that are like 4 or 5 feet tall,
Yeah.
super badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dynasty won a lot back in the day, man. We gotta get them back to the winning ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've won, quite a bit in the recent years, but, it's been a little bit of a dry spell, and we definitely need to get another big trophy on the shelf there for Victor.
Yeah, man, absolutely, 100%.
Yep. And
Should
then,
be good.
we're gonna be doing that, pro tour, or I'm sorry, the Play the Game clinic on Saturday, and then Friday, we'll be training for the pro tour. I'm really looking forward to the training. Hopefully, we can, like, set up some type of a, mock-up type field that's pretty close to pro tour, so we can get some looks on that.
Yeah, we'll need a ton of small Aztecs, huh?
Mhm.
That's Short's, claim to fame is his field is very symmetrical. It's got a lot of the small Aztecs, which is really good for gunfighting. It's great for you because you can see over those damn things. You
Yeah.
can just dominate people, and you're going to be, you know, giving Keith a run for his money, dude. Keith, I don't think he realizes what he's in for.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I mean, and vice versa. Keith's a great player, you know. I'm not sleeping on anybody. I approach every moment with vigor and with intention to win. But it's like, you can't sleep on anybody. You got to come with it and be in the moment and make sure that you make your shots count. But it's definitely just gunfighter's alley. So you
Yeah,
got to be
totally.
on your A++ game when it comes to gunfighting, and then good decision making. I think that was Ryan's downfall when he played. Ronnie is just making some, not the best decisions on movements and getting shot on a lot of those moves. So it's just being a smart decision maker and making those gunfights count.
Yeah, I agree. And no, Keith is an absolute dominator, as a matter of
Hmm.
fact. And gunfighting is definitely one of his strong suits. So it's going to be a good matchup. But
For sure, it's going to go
all my faith is always going to be in Ty in those situations.
Yeah. It's
Speaking of, dude, that promo video that HK put out was seriously one of the coolest paintball promotional videos I've ever seen. The
yeah,
Dominator one,
yeah, yeah. It
dominate your
was.
opponent, dude.
Yeah,
That was
I
so
know.
sick. If you guys haven't seen it, head over to HK's Instagram and check it out. I think it's on their Instagram, right? Or
Oh
is it their
yeah,
YouTube?
yeah.
Yeah,
Also on
dude.
mine, I put it up on
Oh,
mine
and
as
it's on
well.
yours. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, head over to Ty's too.
yeah.
Dude, we should put that up on the Play the Game Instagram.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
that's a dope video. It gave me the chills, man. I was pumped.
Yeah, it's got a powerful message.
Mhm.
It has like inspirational speaking in the background, just talking about, you've got to dominate your opponent, and try to dominate winners. That's what it's all about. Anybody can dominate a loser, dominate winners, and that's how
That's
you're
how
going
you
to set.
become a legend.
That's how you set yourself apart. So yeah, it's going to be really fun. We got that cooking up next weekend on the 19th at ASG. You can tune in live on gosports.com and watch that. They're also going to be doing the 7-man event out there at ASG. So be sure to tune in on that. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be held live as well. They're going to be showcasing 7-man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing, dude. Paintball is slowly but surely coming back to life. I just
Yeah.
had an awesome trip out in New York, coaching a team wrecking crew that I work with pretty closely out there. They're getting prepared for a tournament here in a couple weeks. It's actually the same weekend as Pro Tour. I'm really bummed that I can't make it because I'll be at Pro
Mm.
Tour.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. You're
but
commentating the Pro Tour.
yeah, excuse me. Um, yeah, so I'll be commentating the Pro Tour. I'll be there all weekend, obviously supporting the HK guys. It's the HK event. And, my guys from New York are going to be, getting ready again this weekend. Big practice. I have put some nice structure in place for them. This last weekend was awesome, dude. We had a field to ourselves on Saturday. And I put them through a similar training to what we do, really broke down how to practice because, how it is, Ty. A lot of teams, even
Oh
pro
yeah.
teams, they just go and play point after point, and that is not going to get you to the top. You really have to put intention into everything you do. So we did a ton of drills. I put them through the ringer, man. They were cooked, but they all, dude, they all really fought. No one gave up, and they had a good day. And then on Sunday, we got to scrimmage against another team that Billy Bernaccio was actually out coaching. So we both got to play a few points against each other. That was a lot of fun. And then we coached against each other and just had a really productive weekend. It was awesome to see people excited back out at the field and getting after it again. Like I said, paintball is coming back to life, and that's pretty amazing. So
Heck yeah. Yeah. Paintball's back, baby. Shout out to New York wrecking crew out there working hard. Yeah, this last weekend, it was like Media Day 2020 for me out at the Wild West Paintball here in Arizona. I had one of the guys that Quitman from HK Army. He hired him on to come out and film, and we did like a bunch of just me getting ready for Pro Tour, a lot of drilling that I'm doing, and then even did like a gym session, brought him to the gym with me, got a little workout in, and then did like a whole interview. It was a really cool day, and the videos should be dropping this week, so I'm pretty excited to see that.
that is really cool. I didn't know Quitman came out there.
Oh no, Quitman hired Scott.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, the Will Ball for Soup guy.
yeah, Will Ball for
Yeah,
Soup. Shout out to him.
awesome.
He's killing it out here in Arizona. He's got a really cool YouTube. Go check him out.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm excited to see all those videos. I think those are great ways to get people excited about an upcoming matchup. You know, it's huge. Our sport
Yeah.
needs more of that. I actually love to see what's going on right now with paintball. There's so many new little formats and media that's popping up. I mean, it's kind of what inspired us to do the show is just bringing content to the paintball community
Yeah.
and trying to be a connector. And
Totally.
a lot of people are doing it right now, which is really cool. There's a lot of stuff for people to digest.
Yeah, yeah. The more paintball, the more formats, the better, man. And that was kind of like you and I had always wanted to do something like this for a while.
Hmm.
You know, coronavirus came sweeping through, and it kind of presented an opportunity for us to go live and start building it. It was not easy. It was definitely a big learning curve, but we're still here after 15 shows, and I think we're going to be still here after 15 more, and 15 more, and 15 more, and you know we're
You're
going
gonna
to
have to add quite a few zeros to the end of those 15s, dude. We're here
Yeah.
for the long haul, baby.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, it's not just some random thing that we've created. It's a business. It's a LLC that we've started, and we're in it for the long haul. Can't wait to watch this baby grow year after year. And you know, there's so much knowledge in paintball that can be shared. So many different stories and people from so many different generations, and we just want to connect with the culture and bring it all to life for all you people out there.
Absolutely, man. For the culture,
Yeah,
100%. That's
that's it.
something we live and die by.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Die on your sword, huh? Let's go.
100%, man. I mean, speaking of, man, we're really being put to the test right now. There is so much going on out there. Coronavirus. You're hearing so many people speak up about injustice and things that are happening in the world. And, you know, it's
Yeah.
funny because 2020 was a lot of people at the beginning of the coronavirus stuff were
Dude,
like, let's cancel
2020's
2020.
Yeah.
Oh, well, right. We were talking about
Yeah.
that. Even before that, a lot of people were like, 2020 is my year. It's going to be, you know, the greatest year. And then everything started
Oh, my
happening. It's like,
God.
okay, cancel 2020. But actually, man, I think now there is true opportunity. Now 2020 is becoming
biggest.
one of the more important years, probably in my lifetime, you know, for sure.
Yeah, it's the biggest opportunity right now.
It
You
is.
know, it's a beautiful time to be alive. We all have each other, and we all got to stand by each other and really fight for what's right. Like you said, no more injustice, no more killing. Just let's just love each other, man. Let's just build. Let's boost. That's what the movement's about. That's what Play the Game's all about. And we're here to support that movement fully with a full heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just been really trying to take the last couple of weeks to listen and to learn, to educate myself on current events and stuff that's going on, and try to have a better understanding of how our past has shaped our present, and really just trying to understand how our present shapes our future, you know? And so the things we do today are going to impact us and future generations. And we have to be very mindful of that. And we have to try to work together and try to understand each other, try to have real conversations from a place of empathy, from a place of understanding, from the heart, you know, and try to understand why people are hurting, because there's a lot of people out there right now that are indeed hurting. And that was the biggest wake up call to me with all this, is so many people are hurting and voicing their opinions. And so I just want to listen. I want to understand and try to take action from within my own abilities, you know, and
That's
if it
right.
can, you know, shape my perspective for the better, then I'm all ears, man. And I'm all for the people. I know you're for the people, for all people. And we just want people to be happy and prosper and come together, and especially the paintball community. Paintball community has always been such a massive melting pot It doesn't discriminate. The game truly loves all aspects, all walks of life, and we get to rejoice in that. We talk about traveling for paintball. It's an awesome thing that we get to do, and we've been able to experience so many amazing cultures because of this game. And we just love people. I love culture. I love our differences, and I love that our
That's
sport
the
has been
best. That's the
it,
best
it
part about life is all the differences and being able to mingle and mix and mash and like get it all together. And everywhere we travel to, we pick up different different beautiful cultural I don't even know the best way to say it, but just the beautiful cultural people and their ways. And it's like the greatest part about paintball, you know?
It truly is, and so I hate to see the division,
Yeah.
and when our differences start to cause pain, that is when it becomes a problem. And so,
Mhm.
again, that's why I'm just doing my best to educate myself and be informed. And I
Yeah.
encourage everybody out there to do the same. If you don't understand something or a movement or whatever it is, just try to educate yourself,
Mhm.
and try to get your sources from a bunch of different places. Don't just
Yeah.
stick to one source, because facts and stuff can be twisted, and it's really hard to get to the bottom of the truth out there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of manipulation, and you just have to be really mindful, man. You just really do. And you have to, again, don't come from a place of trying to prove your point, come from a place of trying to understand the other side. And
Mhm.
that's, again, just what I've been spending a lot of time doing lately, trying to promote and trying to get to the bottom of it, because there is real injustice out there. There is real division, whether it's socially, racially, politically. Division is happening, and it's going on, and that's something that we never want. You and I
Yeah.
talk about it a lot off the air. We just want people to be able to come together and enjoy, and have an even playing field. That's really what it's about, right? Just have
Totally.
an even playing field, and have a better future. You've got two kids, Ty, Max and
Yeah.
Theo, 5 and 2. I know you want the best future for them, and I don't have kids yet, but eventually one day I'm sure I will. And same thing, I want my kids to have a great future, and I want my friends' kids to have a great future, and I don't want my
All
friends to be
kids,
hurting.
you
All
know?
kids,
Yeah,
absolutely. You
that's
know.
like always been my mantra is, we got to make this world worthy of the children. Um, we are all, in my opinion, sacred beings, and we all have the most beautiful life here with each other. We have to make this world worthy of the future, of the children, of the lineage to come, and come together for the people, for the culture, for everybody. And like you said, become well rounded, be flexible, get your information from a lot of sources, and try to have empathy for what's going on, and not try to judge things so much. Let's try to have like an outside perspective and look at it, and do the best we can to make the most loving decisions we can, and really boost the future forward from a high frequency. And there's a lot of low frequency stuff going on right now, and we really got to raise that frequency up and start moving into a higher frequency, and that's a more loving frequency. And once we can accomplish that goal, we're going to have tremendous growth. And that's what this is an opportunity for growth. You can't, there's a lot of hardship going on, but it's a tremendous opportunity we've been presented with. And I'm just here to say that I love you guys, point blank. We love all people. We love all creeds. We love all colors. We love all heritage. We love all cultures. It's a beautiful collection of humanity that we have on this earth, and we've got to stick up for each other and love each other as much as we can to build the best future for our children.
Absolutely, Ty. I couldn't agree more. Awareness is such a big thing to understand, and just again, like I said, I've just been trying to be more aware of how things of the past are affecting people today.
Mhm.
And
Well, I think
there
it's
there is real stuff out there. So
pretty real to say that there's some things that are still in place that don't level the playing field out, quite as level as we need it to be. And we've got to work through those things. And it's time. It's the opportunity of a lifetime right now, and we're here to make sure that we all have equal opportunity. That's really what it comes down to. Is we love people. We want all people to be boosted. We want all people to have the same opportunity, and let's grow for that. That's what it's all about.
absolutely, Ty. I love it, man. For the
Yeah.
culture, baby.
For the culture, baby. Let's go.
100%.
Yeah. So talk to me about some of the like traveling and what that was like out there, heading out to New York. Was it like a ghost town going out there?
Dude, it was very strange. Absolutely. So, usually I have a direct flight from San Diego to New York, and it's about 6.5 hours, but so many flights are canceled. There's no direct routes from San Diego. I had to have a layover in Salt Lake City. The airport was like 25% open. So, the little gift shops where you go and can buy some like waters and snacks, they're open, but a lot of the restaurants were closed. The lounges
Oh
were
man.
closed. And you're just walking through and there's really nobody around. The airport was super empty. Lights are off in sections of the airport. Like it was super
Yeah.
weird. It
But
was almost like a,
I
go
thought
ahead.
coronavirus was over. Isn't coronavirus
Uh,
over?
Dude, coronavirus is still
That's a
very,
joke.
very
I'm just
real.
kind of
Yeah.
joking, but
I know, like definitely,
I don't hear about it as much as I did. They shut our country down for 3 months, but it's just I don't know. It's just crazy.
it is crazy. And again, that's a whole nother rabbit hole to get into. But
Yeah.
depending on where you get your news source from, it's still very real.
Oh, for
And,
sure. It's very real. There is coronavirus still out there. Be careful. Take all precautions you can. Absolutely.
yeah, I'm curious to see. Again, we just don't have enough information out there. There hasn't been enough testing.
Hmm.
We don't really know quite how deadly it is
Hmm.
as it stands. It appears to be pretty deadly, but we don't really know how many people have had it that are asymptomatic. All those conversations that I'm sure everybody has been hearing. People are being flooded with information from the news
That's
channels
right.
lately.
Yeah.
Everybody's stuck at home, watching the news all day. It built up.
Dude, I,
Pen,
I had I had to turn that baby off. I said no more.
Yeah, I know it's smart too, because I know how many times have I called you in the last couple months, and I'm like, dude, oh my
Yeah.
god, we got to get to the bottom of this. Like, what's going on? Um,
Yeah, it's real. It's very real. But yeah, I like what you said, Marcelo. You're like, I'm reading more news than I am watching it on TV. And
right.
Kirill, actually, when we had Kirill on from the Russian Legion, he made such a great point. He was talking about how when he watches the news, he's like, I can't do it anymore because the way that their voices sound, the colors that they're shooting at you through the TV, and like
Yeah,
just the
absolutely.
whole broadcast is made to get you emotional and get you fired up and like get some stuff going. But where if you read it subjectively, you don't have all the colors and the sounds and all that craziness. So it's a little bit easier to digest for me personally.
Yeah, totally. And again, I like to get my news sources from multiple sources. If I read something from CNN, I'm also going to read something from Fox, because often they'll have similar facts, but it's spun a little bit differently, and they leave a few key points out that does actually fit the narrative they're pushing. And it's crazy. I've been interested in understanding what's going on in the world for years. 10 years at least, that I've been heavily involved in trying to truly understand what's going on. And I don't like to come out and speak out too much about politics, but I definitely like to understand it. And I've just seen over and over and over and over, if you watch or read or listen from one place, you don't get the full story. So you have to do your due diligence. You have to be mindful that there is a lot of money behind these news stations, and they
Hmm.
are pushing a certain agenda that fits their base and the people that they are trying to
Yeah.
keep engaged. So with
It's
that
what
said, man,
it's yeah,
you just have to be aware. You have to be mindful, and you have to really try to understand the other side. That's what it always comes back to, is instead of trying to be right or win an argument,
totally.
you got to try to understand the other side.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on right now with the Black Lives Matter movement, um, I have a lot of friends, that are hurting, and that's what made me want to understand it better. And there was a lot that I didn't understand, plain and simple. And
Yeah.
so I'm just trying to be aware, and I want to understand police officers better, and I want to understand the statistics better. And so it just
I
comes
think
from a place of being mindful and aware, and just truly caring about people.
Absolutely. I think that's a great place to come from, Marcelo. I think that you really hit it on the head there. It's not about being right. It really isn't. It's about let's get as much information into our heads as possible and make educated decisions. Too many people want to just be right and see it from their perspective, but really, that just it doesn't help the situation. We got to be empathetic and see things from all angles. That way, we can make educated decisions and make hopefully the best decisions for everybody and boost the culture like we talk about boosting the people. It's we're all going to be here for a long time together. Let's learn to play nice together and make it worthy of the future.
Absolutely. I mean, I truly believe we're the most aware and tolerant and connected generation in the history of the world, you know?
Hmm.
And we have the ability to connect now more than ever through social media, I mean, look at this, dude. I see your face right now. For people
Yeah.
that are listening to the podcast, Tyler and I on the YouTube channel, like we get to have these conversations as much as we want all day. And we're, 1,000 miles apart.
Yeah.
And
We spent 3 hours talking just yesterday. Just really digging deep about paintball, about what's going on, and it's a beautiful thing that we have. Marcello, you're right. Never before in
mhm.
humanity has there been. I don't know. Maybe the Egyptians had some LCD screens or something. I'm not sure what they had cooking, but
They could have.
but as far as we know, wink, wink,
Mhm.
there has never been this type of connectivity that we have right here, right now, in these moments. And that's why it's not that the world's crazier than it's ever been. We just there's more connectivity, and we're seeing everything, and the truth is coming to light, and we're able to really work through things that we've never worked through before in the ways that we're able to in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely, Ty. No, you're 100% right. Things are coming to light, and people's voices are being heard now more than ever, and that's an amazing thing. I
Yeah,
think again, having real conversations with each other is just so important. And
totally. Yeah,
yeah,
and
man.
then like
But
we travel a lot, so it's cool for us to see like the news from everywhere. Like when you go to Europe
yeah,
and you see the news there, it's a little different than when you see it here. When you go to Australia, you go to South America, it's really interesting how it's a big program.
it is, dude. I have quite a few friends from Australia that are reaching out, like, dude, is this really like what's going on? And I see their perspective on how their media spins it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, dude. I'm like, that things are pretty crazy right now. Absolutely, there's a lot going on, but that's spun pretty poorly. That's it's not as
Yeah.
nasty and devilish as you think.
Yeah.
And that's just again, it's these media channels are trying to engage their audience. That's how they get paid. And
Dollar,
you
dollar,
you
dollar,
you
big
you really
dollar.
got to understand that. Yeah. Being in New York was actually a really interesting perspective too, because majority of the people that play on the team, they're either firefighters, police officers. They kind of work with the city, so having their perspective on things was a whole nother mind shift
Hmm.
as well. There's so much reality to understand, and
Hmm.
again, I'm just going to say it over and over. I'm just trying to do my best to understand everybody and get to a better place of
That's right.
understanding and empathy for each other, and
Yeah,
that's it. So
absolutely.
it's
I
the
love
bottom
that,
line,
man.
man.
Yeah, so let's really dig into, we want this program to be about kind of the business of paintball, traveling, and they go hand in hand essentially. We're so blessed and fortunate. I know Marcelo and I were able to travel and make money playing paintball, which is pretty amazing. And we know that there's a handful of us that are able to do it, and we would like to explain how it is that we are able to accomplish that. Um, Obviously, it starts from the ground floor. Typically, you're going to be a professional paintball player if you're going to be teaching. Not always. I'm sure there's some that are out there teaching that aren't pros, but for the most part, you're going to be a pro paintball player, and you're probably going to have at least one win under your belt. That way, your credentials are up, and people are able to say, "Hey, look at that guy's got a trophy. Maybe he can teach me how to get a trophy." So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely, Ty. Pursuing a professional paintball career, we talk about it a lot. There's a lot of different things you have to do. There's different ways to monetize the game.
yeah.
And one of them is just being a professional athlete. There are teams that are paying decent money to just show up and compete and work
Hmm.
on your craft. And, some of those teams are like Impact, Houston Heat, Russian Legion. Um, and that's it. However, those kind of salaries are not extremely lucrative. They're not long term. And if you really want paintball to be something you can rely on financially for the rest of your life, you have to turn to the business side of it. And paintball
That's
has
right.
taught me so much about business, from the start of my professional career. I first did a clinic when I was 16 years old with Nicky Cuba. He kind of took me under his wing, brought me out to
Yeah,
Tennessee.
Nikki.
We actually did a clinic for Chattanooga CEP. They were a Division III team at the time.
Crazy.
And yeah, totally. They're not a pro team anymore. They kind of got dismantled, disbanded. They still have one player, Mikey Zupa. He plays for Rebo. But I remember Zupa, he was like 13 or 14 years old when he came to the clinic.
Whoa.
Um, but when I first started, like anything, I didn't have the credentials. I didn't have the credibility. I was a young
Uh-huh.
kid. And I would charge a bare minimum, a couple $100 to go to a field just to learn how to teach. I was in the learning process. I'm still in the learning process. I'm still learning new ways to teach. The game's still constantly evolving. So we have to learn new ways to teach. We have to find new ways to get our messages across.
Totally.
And when I was a kid, I would just try to put together whatever deal I could, because I really enjoyed it, dude. When I was
Yeah.
16 years old, I had a blast. It
It's
was so
fun.
cool. It's absolutely fun, and it's so cool to watch a participant not understand a concept or struggle with their fundamentals and then see it click.
Yeah.
That's a really amazing thing. And so I fell in love with teaching from my first time and just decided, you know what, I think this is what I want to do. I want to pursue, because it's a great way to monetize paintball. Now I don't go somewhere without, $1,500 is a standard fee that you can charge for teaching on the weekend. A 2-day clinic, $1,500, travel expenses paid, and you're doing something you absolutely love. And I think it's amazing to talk about the numbers too. I think it's really important because
For sure.
there's so much misconception about what pro players make.
I just want to say one thing. That's what this show is all about, is full transparency. I don't think that there's enough transparency in the pro paintball circuit. There's a lot of kind of in the sky ideas.
Smoke and mirrors, dude. Smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors.
People think that we're making, a lot more money than we actually are. And there are some players that make a decent chunk of money, but typically it's a pretty grind life to make the kind of money that you want to make, because you're grinding every weekend. You know what I mean? It's nonstop.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot put a price on the travel, the experiences, the people we've met, the friendships we've made, the cultures we've experienced. Like that's what we talk about all the time. You absolutely can't put a price on that, but at the end of the day, it's not going to support your family. It's not going to pay your bills. It's not going to put a roof over your head unless you are pursuing things. So, some of the more paid athletes in the games on these hired gun type teams, a good salary for them is 40 grand a year, and again, all travel is always paid for. You're not spending any money when you're gone, when you're not home, food, all of that stuff. So, your 40,000 might go a lot further than if you are at home all the time. When I'm home, I'm constantly spending money, dude. When I'm home, I'm spending so much money eating out, whatever it is, dude. I'm spending a lot of money. So, but still, that's not a lot of money. It's not. So, while you can make paintball very lucrative, I know you do pretty well for yourself, Ty. I'm fortunate. I do very well for myself. But it's because we pursue so many different avenues of the game. Teaching is absolutely one of them. And teaching's hard. It's not an easy thing. And it's not something that is for everyone.
It's its own skill. Yeah.
It's its own skill. You could be one of the best paintball players in the world, but can you convey how to do that stuff to other people? Can you convey, complex concepts to paintball players? Can you make them understand how to see the game through your eyeballs? Can you show them the fundamentals properly? There's so much that goes into teaching that I again, still, and I'm really lucky because in 2012, I did a few clinics with Ryan. This is when I was playing on Russian Legion, and he taught me a lot. Ryan is one of the godfathers of going around and doing clinics, teaching paintball, things like that. And he really inspired me to pursue it even more. Like I said, I did my first clinic in like 2006 or 2007, something like that, with Nikki Cuba. And then from that point forward, I would maybe only do 1 or 2 a year at the most. I wasn't doing many. And in 2012 is when I really decided, I came back from my knee injuries. I didn't have a great salary from playing with Russian Legion, because it was kind of like a comeback year. And I knew I had to pursue the teaching side of things if I wanted to make paintball my career, which is something from a young age when I first started playing and I found out that professional paintball was a thing. This is all I want to do, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make it work. So I was forced to really dive into teaching. And like I said, I did a few clinics with Ryan, and he was at the time traveling around as much as he is now. So he's been doing it for so long, the old goat. But you're doing like 20, 25 clinics a year, just nonstop action. And so his work ethic was inspirational. And I really started putting together my own packages. And like I said, I didn't charge what I do now, but that's how you got to get your foot in the door, and I had a lot of learning to do. I had to grow as a teacher. And now it's a big part of my yearly income, is traveling around to do these clinics and help future generations understand the game better and grow and become better athletes. And it's very rewarding. It's one of the more amazing parts of the game. Like, I mean, you teach paintball as well, Ty. Like, how awesome is it when you have a really good weekend with a good group of guys or girls, whoever come out to the clinic, and there's just a ton of growth throughout the weekend? You go home feeling extremely accomplished. Like, it's very rewarding. And you're connected to those players for the rest of their careers. You know, I've had players literally come up through the pro division that have come up to me after we played them in a game, and you're shaking hands like, Marcel, I just want to thank you. Like, the book that you wrote has helped me a long way. I've come a long way because of the information from Paintball IQ, or players that have come to clinics. You know, like, it's unbelievable. It's a really cool thing.
There's nothing more rewarding than that. Watching your apprentice go and take the pro field. That's the most rewarding thing you can ever accomplish. Not only that, but shout out to the women out there that come out and play paintball and just kick ass.
Absolutely,
there's
dude.
always so many girls that I'm so impressed with that, they'll come out and they're not so confident in their game style. And then you teach them a couple tricks and then they're snapping people out, running people down. You're like, there we go. Let's go. And paintball is one of the most beautiful sports in that regard, because it's such an equal opportunity sport. It's not about being big, small, tall, fast, strong, none of that. It's about using your mind and implementing your fundamental techniques in a proper way that you can make good eliminations and communication, and in my opinion, women are way better communicators than men. So they got that down, Pat. They're able to talk out there and really, let people know what's going on. So it's a beautiful thing. It's very rewarding being able to teach paintball and see, I started out young. You started out young. You got these young kids that come out, watch them pick up these tricks that you teach them, pick up the fundamental techniques of, holding the gun properly, shooting off the break properly, running and shooting properly, sliding properly. There's so many different fundamental techniques that you have to teach people in order for them to implement it into their game and be effective paintball players. Because it's a fundamental game like golf. You have to have all these techniques in order to be good, or any other sport. There's all these other techniques that you have to have.
Yeah, absolutely, Ty. I couldn't agree more. Paintball is such a mental game. Don't get me wrong. Athleticism absolutely comes into play, and being an athlete helps your game tremendously.
For sure.
You see it time and time again. But you're right. It's not a physical contact sport. So like other sports, women can come in and become very good, because there are some amazing women athletes out there.
Absolutely.
And I like to see the U.S. finally catching up with that, because women's paintball internationally has been pretty booming for a while now. I know I'd go over to Europe and there's just straight ballers over there, like women ballers. I'm not kidding. And they're and in a surplus too, not just like one or two. We'd go to clinics, and Ryan and I would do clinics over there, and we'd get 2 or 3 girls that show up. Whereas here in the U.S. we're lucky to get one, but now more and more are starting to come out of the woodworks, and they're starting to compete and fall in love with our game, and that's amazing. That's an entire other demographic that our sport can capture, and it's phenomenal, because they have opportunity to shoot us. You can't outrun a paintball,
Totally. One of my favorite stories is that someone was listening with their girlfriend, listening to our show, Play the Game podcast. And after listening to the show, they went out and bought her a paintball gun, and she's now playing because of Play the Game podcast. I just think that's so cool that, we're bringing new players into the game, male, female, it doesn't matter. We're all here to play the game.
Dude, that's just as rewarding as someone that comes to your clinic or is under your apprenticeship that turns pro. That's exactly what we want. We want to spread the paintball love, man. We want more people to experience this game that has been, it's just, I say it over and over and over and over, man, and I'll continue. It's been the best thing to ever happen to me. I met you because of paintball. So many of my friends and my understanding of how the world works is through paintball. Again, the travel, the experiences. And, when we travel for paintball, it's not like we're being put up at the Four Seasons. We're not staying at a Hilton or a Marriott.
That's the best part.
In Colombia or in Prague. We're usually staying, like if I travel for a clinic, often I stay at whoever's hosting me. I stay at their house if they have an extra bedroom, and I fully am immersed in the culture wherever it is, all over the US, all over South America, Asia. And that has been the most eye-opening thing to me. And that's, again, why I love, truly, truly love people of all walks of life, because there's so much amazing people out there. And that's why sorry with that, Ty, but that's why we also talked about this. It's so hard for us, at first to see how much divide there really is, because we don't see it, and we're not directly affected by it. So again, that's why I've been doing my best to learn and understand what's going on. Because paintball has shown me just beautiful people, truly beautiful people from all over the world. And it's something that is irreplaceable. I truly have always said paintball, if I never made $1 from it, it's rewarding enough, I just so happened to also wanted to make this my career. And so I found ways to monetize it, which you can do, which is what we want the show to be about as well. But it's hard not to touch on the beauties of the sport and things that it has done for us,
Absolutely. That's the best part about what we're able to do is we're able to connect with so many different people from so many walks of life. I know that myself personally, I would not be in a good place if it wasn't for paintball. I grew up in a city that's one of the top 5 worst cities in our whole country,
Shout out to
and
Modesto.
yeah, and it's not that it's if you ask me, I love Modesto, but that's just
Yeah.
how it's ranked or whatever. It's not ranked very well. It's a pretty rough little town, and a lot of my friends are either dead or in jail or headed that way, and it's like a Lil Uzi Vert song, like all my friends are dead, kind of. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I know that I probably would be headed down that same path if it wasn't for paintball, because there's just not a lot of opportunity in the valley that I was raised in. And my heart goes out to people that are affected in those ways all across the world. But thankfully, I thank God every day, and I thank my father for allowing me to play paintball and giving me the opportunity to be able to meet people like you, Marcello, meet people like Bob Long, meet people like, all the coaches that I've been able to apprentice under, and all the beautiful people that we've been able to connect with across the world.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. And obviously, that it was a huge connector with me and my dad as well. My dad was heavily involved in paintball, and we would play every weekend together. It was a huge, because of paintball, my dad and I were as close as we were. We had something to go out and do every single week. And that's why when I see a father and a son, or a daughter and a mom, a family, actually, when I go to Wisconsin, there's a full family that comes out to these clinics. It's a son, a daughter, and a father and a husband, and they come out and they jam, dude. They play, they have a blast, and it's something they go and do every single weekend. And I think that's so amazing. I do want to touch real quick on something that you mentioned, Tyler, though, about opportunity. And I think that's why it is so important for us to make sure we have true equality and equal opportunity, not just at the top, but at the start gate, equal opportunity, because lack of opportunity does lead to bad outcomes. It leads to crime. It leads to violence. When you don't
For
have
sure.
when you don't have good role models in your life, when you don't have things to aspire to be. Because I agree, dude. I did have a lot of opportunity in my life, but I still could have went down a very dark path if I didn't have paintball. Truly, one of my best friends, I was informally adopted at 13 for a couple of years because my dad was pretty sick at the time. You know the story. We don't need to get too deep into it. But my brother, who was one of my best friends that I grew up playing paintball with, he passed away a couple of years ago. Kevin, from a drug overdose. And we got stories for days about that kind of stuff. And him and I got into some bad stuff when we were younger. And fortunately, because of paintball, I was able to pull myself out of it. I had direction. I had things to focus on. I wanted to pursue a professional career. So I had to take care of my mind, my body, and all sorts of different things. I had to really stay focused and stay dedicated and have something to put all of my energy towards. And paintball was that. It was absolutely that for me. And if I didn't have paintball, I'm not sure what it would have been. I like to think maybe I would have been able to pull myself out of it, but who knows, man? Who knows? Because
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, who knows? And so I'm just thankful that I did have paintball, and I'm just always a huge advocate of people playing the game, because playing the game of paintball, man, it's unlike anything else. It is a drug, dude. You it's a high when you play. Like, you're in a flow state. Your adrenaline is pumping. You're in the moment. You're forced to be in the moment. You can't think about anything else. You're trying to dodge paintballs that are coming at you 300 feet per second. So you got to read and react, and it's such a beautiful game of art and structure and architecture. It's amazing. I absolutely love the game, and so we're on the same page with that, man. You and I, we talk all the time. We have these conversations over and over because it doesn't get old. We love paintball.
Yeah, it's and that's the beauty of sports, and paintball, especially for us, is it really does keep you staying straight. It keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you healthy. mentally, physically. It's a great outlet. It's a great way to connect with the community. It helps with team building and bonding, and your communication skills are raised through paintball. It helps you to be more empathetic. It helps you to see things from other person's perspective, because I'm shooting down the wire and I think I know everything and I got the whole field laid out in my mind, and then
This
you
is a great
realize
analogy.
you know you realize that there's someone in the center that is seeing things a little bit differently than you, and you're able to connect on that and have a communication about that and be empathetic for their views, and also him hopefully be empathetic with my views, and we can meet in the middle and grow. And I think that's a great analogy for the times we're in right now. Is we're all on different sides, everywhere on the field playing paintball. We just got to try and see it from everyone's perspective and play the game and have some fun with it.
Some people have 2 guns on them. Some people only have 1 gun on them. Some people have no guns on them.
Yeah.
It truly is analogous.
Yeah.
Goodness, sorry, it's early. We're doing an early morning show, but analogous. Wow, I don't even know what that is. It sounds like an egg salad. Analogous. I'm glad we could have these laughs, dude. No,
yeah,
but
that's what it's all about.
you have to trust your teammates. Paintball really teaches you trust. I always, we're actually putting together a sweet program, Ty. We've talked about it, but I've always approached businesses telling them paintball is a great outing for you guys to take and do with your company. It builds trust. You have to have communication skills. It's a great company function. It truly can bring people closer.
That's another way that we are, going to be monetizing paintball right there. Is we're going to be putting together a platform and going, straight up, like strapping up our shoes, walking into doors and talking to companies about getting their companies to play paintball. Because like you said, it's just so good for the human experience, for the connectivity of your company. It raises morale. It gets everybody working together better and communicating better. And what better way to do that for your company than playing a little paintball,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And again, those are win-win situations, because we're going to be bringing new people into the sport, and we do get to monetize it, and we benefit as well. It's a win-win. And I'm all about
around.
Win-wins in business. That's how I've always been. I'm willing to take a little bit of a cut as long as my partner is boosted and also benefiting. That's how you do good business. That's how you have long-term business.
That's right.
When I go and teach these clinics, I give it my all. I don't slack off. When we leave the field, I am open and ready and available, and we're talking paintball all night long. At the host house, they usually will invite players over, from their field. These are either team owners or field owners, so they're connected to the paintball community, and the clinic doesn't stop at the field. It's the whole weekend, and I truly just spill out my heart and my knowledge and everything, because that's what I'm here to do. I give my best, my all, so that they have an amazing experience as well.
That's the coolest part about being able to travel and hang out with people in their homes, in their culture, with the people, is like you're able to really, it's rewarding on both ends, because I'm able to experience, I know you're able to experience the culture and the way that different people from all walks of life live. And then vice versa, they get a little taste of your culture. And then you're also able to just dive headfirst into paintball nonstop. And they ask you all the questions that they would never ask you at the field. And, you really get to dig deep into the nuts and bolts of paintball and what it's really like, being able to be in our shoes and travel around and play paintball and make a little change here and there, doing what we love. And, just being able to connect with people and play paintball is the greatest experience ever. I mean, like you said, I'll never stop saying that. It's been a dream almost, it's unreal what we've been able to accomplish.
Absolutely, Ty. And like the podcast, that's another thing. But what I will say is, and you already touched on it, but none of this would be possible if we didn't do a good job of building our brand. And I think that's another important thing for players that are pursuing a professional career to understand, is you are constantly building your brand. You need to not only be a phenomenal paintball player, but you have to be marketable. You have to be a player that companies want to put their logo on, because that's how you do generate outside sponsorship, whether it's personal endorsement deals. We've got a few of those. Shout out to Transfuse. What an amazing electrolyte brand.
Heck yeah.
G2 Paintball. My own personal side of things, working with Grenades Gum and fully activated CBD. I know you also work with them. There's ways to monetize the game, and it does come from understanding how to build your brand. You got to create an image that you want to uphold, and hopefully it's one that sends the right message and is boosting positivity and using your platform for good and not evil. And
Yeah.
and there's a lot of players that are doing that out there. They are doing a really good job of promoting themselves, and I see it from some of the younger guys. Kyle Berry from the ML Kings, he does a really good job actually of just trying to stay connected with the community. Joe Barrett, and these guys don't have much accolades in the professional division yet, but they do a good job of promoting themselves, and that's really important. Look
That's
at Ronnie.
half the battle.
It's half the battle. Ronnie Dizon, he's an absolute crusher.
Yeah.
Granted, he also has the playing accolades to match, which is why he's one of the more successful
That's right.
YouTubers and things like that in the game. You got to treat your brand with respect. You got to understand that you are your own business in this game, because you want multiple streams of income. You want to get income from playing, and you want to get income from being able to teach. You want to get income from being able to put together personal deals on the side. That is how you make this a long-term career. That's how you really make a lucrative salary out of paintball. And
That's right.
then you also need to understand business a little bit, understand real estate. I know you and I talk about it all the time. You owned a house, you did sell it, you bought low, sold high, did a great job with it. Now you've got a bunch of money in your pocket. You moved out to Arizona, and you're going to plan to build again. I did a really good job of saving money from paintball to buy my first condo when I was 25 years old. And, it's done really well. It's appreciating. You want to understand putting your money into valuable things, things that are going to grow. You want to be able to grow your money, and whether it's investing in, different stocks or real estate, there's so many ways to make your money work for you. And that comes from being a student. You got
to be reading. You got to be reading.
Totally. Absolutely. I don't have a college degree. I did a few semesters, literally walked out of an English class. I think we talked about this on here before. I walked out of an English class because the teacher was just being a total dickhead to me, and I was having a bad day. And I was just in there realizing I'm never going to need a degree. I'm fully pursuing this paintball career. With that, we talked about it on the Mark episode with Marky.
Yeah.
But, education in itself is very important. And you got to constantly be teaching the mind. I read as much as I can. And I know you do too, Tyler. I try to do my best to learn about real estate, investing, business, you name it. I actually went and got my real estate license when I was 20 years old because it was something I was so interested in. I never pursued it. I never made any money off of it. I never worked for a firm. I did apprentice under somebody, went out and showed a few houses, things like that. But I just realized that also wasn't for me because it was so time consuming, and you can't pursue a paintball career if you're not willing to put in all the time.
The real estate is no joke. Yeah. I worked with realtors and I still kind of do, for the last almost a decade of my life, from when I was 20 to 30, before moving out here. That's all I did was work with real estate agents. It's crazy. It's a crazy game. You got to be there on the weekends, no days off. Yeah,
absolutely. No days off. And that's why I was like, okay. I pursued my real estate license out of interest, but it was also when I injured myself. So I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to return to paintball. Right. And
you learned a lot, you learned so much on the business end, and it really teaches you about markets and the way that they work. So it's a very valuable place to be. Even if you just are learning about it, it's a good thing to learn.
Absolutely, man. 100%. Real estate is something that you can benefit from. Long-term investments in good real estate can be very lucrative. So taking the money that you earn from paintball and realizing that you got to turn that into more money. That's all part of the game we're playing here with paintball. It's there's so many ways to monetize the game. You really do have to be intelligent. You have to teach yourself. You have to have a good business mind. And I attribute so much of that to my dad, actually, because growing up, all he ever did was teach me how to think to make money. He's like, just constantly. I remember he literally said, I want you to just constantly be thinking of new ideas, constantly be thinking. He was like, I never sit there and think of, negative things in my life. He goes, I'm constantly just trying to find new ways to grow my business. He was so crafty. He started his own vertical blind business back in the 60s, did all of the Hilton hotels, built it from the ground up. He from the ground up built a food catering business. I remember there was a period after he got really sick and pretty much lost his entire business because there was no one to run it. For about 2 years, he decided to start something new. He wasn't bumming. He wasn't like, oh, poor me, I lost everything that I built. He's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try this new venture. So he would go to auctions and buy cars, and he would spend a couple $100 to fix them up and then sell them for double the price.
There
Like
we go.
he was constantly shaking and baking, and he was constantly thinking of new ways. Even, I mean, the last 2 years of his life were really tough on him. He was incredibly sick, fighting brain cancer. I mean, pretty much every sort of health issue you can have. My dad was ailed by it. It truly, and not for pity. He never wanted pity, but even in those years, 78, 79, 80 years old, he was the head of the food catering business that he started. And he was just constantly like new ideas. He's like, oh, how can I get more customers? You know what? I'm going to offer a free $50 appetizer tray. None of my competitors are doing this. He did a lot of like street tacos, things like that. His wife is straight from Mexico. She is the bomb chef. She is so good. She makes
Oh,
amazing
I'll
food,
bet.
dude.
Yeah.
And so they had a nice little taco stand that built. So they would go do a bunch of parties. But my dad he was like, dude, I'm not cutting myself off there. I also can make really good Italian food, hot dogs, burgers, all sorts of stuff. And so he was just constantly thinking of new ways to create and get new customers, and always treat his customers very well so that they wanted to bring them back. And that's stuff that he taught me. If you have customers, treat them very well so that they want to bring you back. You want to build loyalty on both ends, be loyal to your customers, and they'll be loyal back for the most part. And then most importantly, just constantly be thinking. So that's how I came up with the idea to write a book. That's how we came up with the idea to do a podcast. And every single day, you and I are having conversations of what's next, what can we do? And we're just knocking stuff out left and right. Like we've been talking about it a lot. We're like 5-6 weeks into this, and our baby's so big.
Yeah, it's getting
The
big.
baby's been growing.
And that's how you do business, Marcello. You got to be on your toes. And you also have to be patient and flexible, especially if you're going to do this paintball thing. You got to be patient and you got to be flexible and you got to work your ass off. It's not going to come overnight. You gotta have, the accolades. You got to be someone that people want to listen to. And you also have to be very good at conveying the ideas across a lot. That's a gift in its own, is being able to convey yourself properly to your clients and be able for them to take those skills that you're trying to convey and implement that into their technique and their way of play, and do it in a way that is digestible so that they can really, get it mentally and then turn it into a physical manifestation where they're using it on the field, which is it's a difficult task to accomplish, and not everybody's going to be good at that. And, a lot of people probably see us and think, oh, it's easy money. Got this. We can all do this. But it's a lot of work that you don't see. And there's a lot of hurdles that you don't see that we're just high striking over, just jumping over. You know what I mean? Like, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time on the back end that you're not seeing. But when you meet those moments, you got to be ready with vigor to take them and accomplish them. And don't ever give up. Just keep fighting and keep working at your craft. And you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail a lot, actually. And those are going to be the building blocks to your success. You've got to fail upward. You've got to keep failing in a positive direction. That way, while you're building this, hopefully you're not failing with your clients and they're watching you fail. Hopefully you figured it out before you get to your clinics. But do the mental preparation and do the work prior to arriving. That way you're ready to go. You're ready to give them that full packaged product, and it's going to be something that they can really find a lot of value in.
Yeah, Ty, absolutely. That's extremely solid information. 100%.
Yeah.
Before I thought that I was going to pursue playing professional paintball, I knew I wanted to play pro, but I didn't know how much money it made. I had no idea. And so in 6th grade, I wanted to do graphic design for dye paintball. That's what I thought I was going to go to school for. That's what I thought. I thought I was going to be able to play this beautiful game, turn pro, and do graphic design. That was my original goal, create product and things like that. And then obviously that transitioned and shifted. And when I did play on the Ironman, I had a great opportunity to work in research and development and kind of help with a lot of the new products and stuff like that, which was a whole nother, that taught me so much about business and owning a company. And I'm very thankful and grateful for those opportunities, because it's taught me stuff that, I don't even know if you can learn it in school. There's nothing better than the hands-on experience. I straight up flew over to Asia, met with the manufacturers, and would try products back and forth and give input on ideas. And I really learned from the ground floor how to be involved in that process. because of paintball, which is amazing. It's such a great teacher. There's so many experiences that I've learned from paintball that I can bring into any sort of business. But my point with this is, there's also that side of things too. There's great opportunity if you pursue a paintball career to work within the industry. And even if you never make it to the pro ranks, you can be so connected to the game that you love. You could be part of growing the sport. You could be part of a better paintball future just by working in some of these companies, whether you're a salesman or sales person or a research and developer, an engineer, whatever it is, you can be part of the community. So there's so many ways to monetize paintball, and I really am stoked to be talking about it because people always ask, and you're so right, Ty. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there, and people don't understand really what it means to monetize
Yeah.
the sport of paintball. They think,
Yeah.
because Oliver got $100,000 contract per year for 5 years. That's a $500,000 contract, which in the real world isn't even that much. I mean, that's a good amount of money. You're stoked if you make that, but
Yeah, that's a good chunk.
it's a good chunk for sure. It's definitely a good chunk. But in comparison to other sports, it's nothing, and
Yeah,
especially with who he was,
totally. And
but
then
it was
you got people out there thinking that everybody's getting somewhere close to that.
exactly.
It's just not the case. It's not the case at all, actually. You are very, very fortunate if you get 40 grand. I mean, there's only a handful of players in the world that get that. And then
from playing alone,
from
Yeah,
playing alone.
correct.
That's right. Yeah. Just, for playing on the team, getting that chunk of money. Otherwise you have to be monetizing the game, having, signature series lines, selling jerseys, doing clinics, doing whatever you can to pretty much just like make every dollar add up, to have a successful career.
It's a lot of hustle and bustle, man. I
It
always
is.
knew from a young age, like, outside of the graphic design, as I got a little bit older, I ventured into the thought process of I want to own my own business, and my dad had always owned his own businesses. Even if they weren't multi-million-dollar companies, they were his, and he worked on his schedule, and he did it the way he wanted to. And so that was always what I wanted to do. And in a way, I've done that with paintball. And you're right, like, you can equate selling jerseys or clinics. That's your product,
That's right.
going somewhere and teaching. That's your product. Contracting yourself out when I go and play with teams in South America or Australia or Europe, you create a separate deal. That's obviously a different deal than the team you play with in the US. And so you contract your skills out to go and play and teach and help these organizations grow. There are so many ways to do it. And it comes from treating yourself like a business, first and foremost.
That's right. And you'll start to see that it all trickles down together. Once you get the ball rolling, they all start to roll together, and you land that deal to go play for a team in Europe, and you get X amount of dollars, and then you find that you get out there and you sell some jerseys, and then you meet a new person who gives you another avenue of some way that you can help out in the industry and make a little bit more money, helping this organization out or something of that nature. But they all start to roll together. So, be patient in the beginning when there's a lot of people out there that want to do what we're doing. They want to make a career out of paintball. They want to travel. They want to teach the sport. They want to, make some money playing paintball. And don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen for a couple of years. We've been playing for 20 years, Marcello. It's been a long journey, and it hasn't been this way all 20 of those years. It's been a long journey to reach this point in our life, but it's being persistent and not doing it for the money, doing it for the love of the game. I don't play paintball for the money. I play paintball because I love shooting people with paintballs, and
Absolutely.
I love running around on that paintball field with my teammates. It's the most exhilarating thing I've ever done in my life. It gives me so much passion and purpose, and just like, it's my art, it's my expression, it's who I am. I can't turn away from this. It'd be like turning my back on myself. I'm a paintball player. I love paintball, and that's why I do this. And that's also why I've been able to have success, and why Marcello has been able to have success, because we love what we do. It doesn't matter what you do in life. Love what you do. You'll find a way. You'll find your path. It's when people try to do things for the money, it's never going to work out. You're going to fizzle. You're going to fade. It's not going to have the zest that you need. And, once you start on that path and you're doing it for all the right reasons, all the doors are going to open, all the dots are going to connect. You're going to find ways to do what you need to do, but you've got to be doing it from a right spot in your heart. You got to be doing it for the right reasons.
Well, that's going to be a soundbite. I mean, yeah, Ty, I couldn't agree
Yeah,
more, dude. Absolutely. You have to fall in love with the process. And that's what this whole thing has been about. And that's a cliche term, fall in love with the process, but that's so real and true in paintball. And first and foremost, I love the game. I'm a paintball
yeah,
player too, 100% through and through. And that
yeah.
is why I've decided to make my life about it. And the reality is, you do have to make money to survive in this world. And
That's
so I
right.
figure, why not do it through the sport that I love, the game that I love? And it does come from loving the game. If you don't love the game, don't pursue a career in paintball, dude. Bottom line.
Yeah. And the beautiful part about that, is even if you don't make as much money as this guy, that guy, whatever, you're doing what you love. That's the most
Yes.
valuable thing. The
Yeah.
return on your investment is happiness. Be
Yeah.
happy. That's a great
Yeah.
ROI, you know?
Totally.
There's so many people out there that want the ROI of 100 grand and all this accolades and all this, that, and the other. But are you happy? Are you actually happy? You know, let's make happiness the ROI. That's what needs to be the number one goal. Don't do things because it looks cool or you want the money or you want the fame or you want this, that, and the other. Do it because you feel good. Let's feel good first and then worry about everything else after. That's going to provoke a lot better future for so many people than chasing degrees, chasing these big jobs, chasing all this money. Make sure you're happy, move from there. You still feel good? Okay, let's keep moving. Still feel good? Let's keep moving. All right, there we go,
Absolutely, dude. There's nothing more important than that. I have so many friends that kick themselves every single day going to work, but they're making a good salary. And I look
Yeah.
at it like, man, I just would never want to be in those shoes. And not to put anyone
Mhm.
down that's doing some of these jobs. We need people that want to go to work at certain 9 to 5s. They are part of the community. They are part of society. Um,
Absolutely.
and you can't just
But
quit. You
also,
can't.
and don't feel caged in,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And you
totally.
can't just quit your job and get up and go and do whatever you want, but you can definitely use your job as a means to get to where you want.
Totally.
And
Totally.
I agree, Ty. That's the biggest thing. Pursue happiness. Pursue feeling good. And we talk about this in every single one of our conversations. It's so part
Yeah.
of us by the things that you eat, the things that you read, the conversations you put yourself in, the situations you put yourself in, the type of work that you do. You spend a majority of your life working, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to be something that you care about. It needs to be something that you love to do.
Yeah. And
No better
and
way to put it.
totally. It has to be, dude. And I love what you said there, Marcelo, is like, not everybody loves what they do, and that's okay too. But what you can do if you don't love what you do is you can do what you said and use it as an avenue to get to where you do love what you do.
Mhm.
Like you said, you can't just drop out and not have a job. You gotta be making money.
Yeah.
But you can start to formulate ideas. You can start to become creative and find avenues and ways to monetize yourself and make money and be happy. It's not impossible. We can be happy and make money. And I think that's the beautiful part about this new era that we live in is there's so many ways to do that. There are so many new and creative ways that you can monetize yourself and be happy. If you love fish, start a fish podcast. Start and do it on the side. You talk about all the different fish in the world and you love what you do and that's your thing. If you like playing cricket, start a cricket show, a YouTube channel, or like you can do what you love more than ever right now because of telecommunications, because of the connectivity. So it's a great opportunity to, do maybe what you don't like doing, make it that money, use it as a transition to get to where you love doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and actually to add on to that, Ty, you brought up something that I think we can talk about really quick.
Hmm.
If you have a job that you don't enjoy and you want to pursue something that you do enjoy, like you said, if you love fish, create a fish podcast, create something to talk about all the beautiful fish in the world.
Yeah.
Even if that avenue never makes money for you,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a way for you to express yourself that gives you joy and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And you can build something that people will be interested in, and you could leave your mark on the
Yeah.
world, and you can kind of influence people for the better, or share your expression. And that
Yeah.
alone will make you love the job that you don't love even more, because you're
That's
having
right.
a little bit of a balance there. And
Absolutely.
I totally understand not everybody has multiple hours every day, but at the same time, I also can argue, yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways you can find time. Watch a little less TV,
Yeah.
you just do a little bit less of things that don't matter as much and spend time doing things you love. Go ahead, Ty.
Totally. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like there's 24 hours in the day, right? 6 times 4 is 24. You can sleep for 6 hours and you still got 18 hours that you can do things, you
Okay,
know?
I advocate 8 hours of sleep. There's a lot of
Well,
science for boosting the brain. You're an alien,
sure.
and you sleep
Yeah.
like 5 to 6.
Yeah, it's just like how I've been hardwired.
I know.
I owned my own pest control company. My parents, we did it together for a while. They stopped and retired, and I took care of them. And I did that for a while, and I was just running off six, and I felt good off six. If I could get seven, I felt really good. But what it did is it gave me the opportunity to, if those 2 extra hours, 2 times 7 days in the week is 14. I'm pretty much getting like, almost a whole nother day of life out of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean,
So
Kobe talked about it all the time.
yeah, for sure.
He would sleep less and work more. That was his way of getting an edge on his opponents.
Yeah.
So,
And
no,
it
100%. Yeah.
also, I just like to say, you think that I really enjoyed doing pest control for 8 years? It was not the most, I love the people, don't get me wrong, but crawling under houses with dead rats and getting attacked by fleas and like, the mummified cat carcasses that look like they've been scared out of their skin. I don't know why all dead cats look like that. They look like they got like scared before they died. But like I would crawl underneath houses I've probably crawled under 10,000 houses. It wasn't the most fun job. I didn't technically, I mean, it was kind of a cool adventure, but I didn't like, yeah, man, I can't wait to crawl through these rat carcasses.
Yeah.
No, it's like, it was a grinder, but I did it because I love my family. I did it because I needed to make money. And it also was the balance. Like I had paintball at the same time too. So like you said, Marcella, I had my thing that I loved. I had my fish show, like the analogy.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
had my paintball, which kept my cup full, and I was able to do that grinder work, and then on the weekends release that and go have fun and have my release. So it's that balance. You got to find the balance. Don't kill yourself working. Don't be unhappy. You can be happy. I promise. We can all be happy, man. That's the beautiful part about being a human is we're creators. We're natural born creators, and we can
Mhm.
create whatever we want. Just takes a little bit of thought power and a little bit of passion, a little bit of heart, and it's right there for you.
Absolutely, Ty. Damn.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
we can't understate enough too the experiences you will get from playing paintball if you do it professionally and can engage internationally. It's just the best. Like I said,
It
the
is.
the cultures we've been able to experience, the things we've done, are amazing. They're things money can't buy. As a matter of fact, we have so many
That's right.
experiences that I come back and my friends see it, or I tell them, a certain story about things I got to do when I was in a country, and they just go, "Man, literally, you cannot buy that experience. There's no tour for that. You don't
Yeah.
you can't go to the tourism little booth and book that excursion. It doesn't
Yeah.
exist. It's real. It's raw, and it is the culture.
That's
Um,
right.
and
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for the sport because of that. And
Totally.
so,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely, man. It's been such a beautiful ride, and there's so many ways you can make money in paintball, like we talked about. There's so many avenues and creative ways that we're still working on making money in paintball. And remember, it comes from the heart. We love what we do, but we also, it's okay to love making money too. You can make money. That's okay, And we're always in that creative process of learning how to do that. And connecting with the culture and meeting the
mhm.
people. It's been the most beautiful journey. Huge shout out to the world. I'm a big fan of Planet Earth. Let's go, Planet Earth, and all the people here, man. And paintball has really allowed Marcelo and myself to connect with all of you guys, and we love that so much.
Absolutely, dude. I really want to encourage, especially the paintball community, but if any non-paintball players are listening to this, even better. But um, just let's all do better. Let's all do a little
Yeah.
better and be mindful of how our actions are affecting other people. Let's care about each other. Let's spread love and positivity, and let's work through the hard stuff because there is real hardship going on. There are real
Yeah.
problems and division and imbalances. Let's do our best to make them better. Let's do our best to connect and help
Mhm.
the people around us.
Totally. And that all comes from having good conversations, man.
Hmm.
Let's have good conversations and just like on the paintball field, we had that analogy of being empathetic to people's views.
Yeah.
Let's turn that into a movement, and let's see it from every angle and make educated decisions and love each other, man. Let's boost love. Let's boost each other. Let's boost the human race. Let's move it forward. Like I said, we're not going anywhere. We're all here for a long time together. So let's make sure we make the ride enjoyable.
If COVID-19 doesn't wipe us all out.
Yeah, I know, right?
No,
Man,
I'm
dude.
just kidding. And not to be
I
insensitive. I know people are losing their lives and it's very real and we have to be careful and mindful.
For
But,
sure. I think Kirill said it best. And for lack of a better word, he said, fuck COVID-19.
yeah.
That stuff is
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta be safe out there, wear your masks, wash your hands, do everything you can to protect each other. We have to look out for each other in any way we can on all fronts. And let's make it a movement for the people, for the culture, and let's keep playing this game.
Absolutely, Ty. I love that
Yeah,
paintball's coming
baby.
back to life. Can't wait to
Yeah.
continue seeing people over the next couple weeks. Hopefully, we'll be
Yeah.
coming to a city near you.
Yeah, baby. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow, man. Let's go.
Dude, it is tomorrow. Oh my God. I can't wait. Man, these weeks are flying by. All
I
right, man.
know.
Well, I think we got to hop off here. I'm going to get this edited and up and
Yeah.
for the
You need to
people,
start
baby.
you need to start loading up those trophies and get your ass in the car.
Yeah, dude. That's going to be such a fun trip, dude. I can't wait. Road tripping with old man Greenspan.
Yep, that'll be a good one. We'll have a video up on YouTube for you guys.
Yeah, 100%, guys. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show, and we'll see you soon.
Much love. Thank you.
Peace. That was such a great episode. I always love talking to Tyler. We really had an amazing time this morning talking with you guys and spreading some love and some insight into the business side of things and traveling for paintball. And now that paintball's coming back to life, you're starting to see some of the players are traveling. Myself, I had some stories from New York this weekend. But with that said, we thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys would like to become a supporter of the show, we would greatly appreciate it. We are working our butts off to keep bringing you guys nonstop content and have the best guests that we possibly can on. If you guys could head over to ptgpaintball.com. That's www.ptgpaintball.com. We've got some cool merchandise that we would be so appreciative if you guys got some and sent us in a picture of you guys supporting the show. And we hope to see you guys at one of these paintball fields here soon in either a PTG hat or shirt, something like that. Maybe you drink your morning coffee out of a PTG mug. Our website is brought to you by Rusty Glaze at Constant Pursuit. Rusty works in the paintball industry for building websites for different parks and brands. And, if you have another business outside of the paintball world, he does that as well. He does a really good job. You guys can check out his work at, obviously, ptgpaintball.com or constantpursuit.com. All right. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and we will see you again very, very soon.